It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Soak up that gorgeous little laugh just a little bit longer. We are about to get into our baby talk. And this morning, dealing with something that I think every new parent, I don't want to say struggles with, but it's a challenge that you're going to have to embrace as you move from the breastfeeding phase or the bottle phase onto weaning your child into solids. There is no uniform way of doing it. It's going to be slightly different for every baby, but of course there are ways that we can help you go through this process. And someone who helped me a huge amount was of course Paediatric dietitian Kath Megaw, who you were there, and I know we use this segment as a very self-indulgent self-help guide through this process, but this is quite a difficult phase because it can get quite tricky. And of course, if you'd like to pose any questions, give us some advice, relate your story, we'd love to hear from you. 021 430 9881. Are you struggling to move into that weaning phase? So I'm thinking of weaning. When do we move from the bottle or breastfeeding phase into weaning, and how should we go about that?
So it's normally between the age of 4 and 6 months that parents will start to get a feel that their baby needs a bit more than just milk.
And just watch you eat all the time.
They start to become very responsive to food and smells and that around them. And this is also an important, and that's how it should look when you're introducing your
food,
baby. Messy. And it's really important that within that phase you do start to introduce them to different foods, and you'll do it alongside the milk. So the milk doesn't go out the window. You continue the milk, and I normally say to parents, continue with the same amount of feeds in the beginning, same amount of volume of milk in the beginning, because in the beginning your baby's learning to eat. Food is not going to give the nutrition that milk is given at that stage. And so you don't want to put pressure on the food to give the nutrition. You just want to teach them how to eat.
You don't need to starve your baby to force them to
Correct.
eat. And it's important to know, because through this process you're learning as well whether your child is full or not. And just like us, they're not always going to have the same appetite. There's no kind of uniform schedule that they can follow, but it is a great way of introducing a bit of kind of a stable process into the flow of your day, which can help a lot.
Yes.
How will you know if you're weaning too fast, if you're pushing that a little bit too fast?
Well, firstly, your baby shouldn't take away too many milk feeds. So if your baby starts dropping critical milk feeds and goes literally halves their milk intake, then you have weaned too fast. And you do get babies that just take to solid food, love it, and so you've got to just kind of slow them down a bit and moderate them. Another reason could be if you are you should never force feed solids. So that's very, very important, because food is something they've got to have a good relationship with, because it's something you do for the rest of your life. So, and remember, it's a journey. It's not, you don't get it right in one go. So it's going to take literally a lifetime.
Blanket description to all parenting,
Yeah, so you're going to give them a time to actually adjust to the feeding process, and put them around food. Have them around when you eat them. Parents are so scared of that.
Mirror neurons, they learn from you.
Absolutely.
Just very quickly, some of the best foods to start with?
I like to start with the foods that occur in nature and that are in season. So that is anything that you would have thought our kind of forefathers would have naturally grown on their land, and that, like veggies and fruits and things, but are seasonal. Okay, so if you want to know what's seasonal, look at the price.
I was going to say, i.e. they match your budget.
Exactly. So anything like your gem squash, butternuts, apple, pears, peaches at the moment, we've still got those in season. So the summer's a lovely time of fruit weaning. Winter's a little bit more tricky because we don't have as much variety, but there are still a fair amount.
And let them build that relationship with healthy foods first. Don't just go for the taste. I like the fact that you brought forefathers into it. You romanticized this whole process. We're going to continue our discussion about weaning your baby into that solid phase of their journey when it comes to their nutrition. 021 430 9881 if you've got any questions.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
how can that not put you in a good mood? Welcome back. You're live with Expresso as we delve right back into baby talk with Kath. We are talking about weaning your child, and we've got on the line with us right now Joanne from Josie. Joanne, thank you so much for connecting with us. Now, you've got quite, as I understand it in my brief introduction, quite an extreme case battling with weaning your child, or have I got it completely wrong? How old is your child, and what is the challenge that you are dealing with right now?
Boys, I've got the flu.
No worries.
My baby is 4 years old.
4?
And, we're battling to get her to eat. She's in preschool. She hardly wants to eat. I had to take her out. And she eats very few solids. She's the whole time on my breast.
Okay, I'm going to hand you straight over to Kath to ask some vital questions, I think.
Okay, obviously if your child's getting most of the food through breast milk, she's not going to have any space for any other food. So what we really would suggest is to wean her cold turkey at that stage, because while she knows she can get her nutrition and fill herself up on mom's milk, besides the comfort factor, she's not going to look for food anywhere else. And at the age of 4, breast milk won't meet all her nutritional needs. So she's at a lot of risk for missing out on critical nutrients for growth, brain development, and other nutrition for her immunity, etc.
Joanne, I'm going to ask you...
I do give her vitamins, but every time she goes play out with her friends, she comes back just for a nap, that sip, and she's onto the milk, and I feel so bad now.
Joanne, I'm going to ask you quite a personal question because we're in a personal space, but I want you to feel safe in that regard. Why are you not taking that step? Presumably in this process, someone has said to you that you do need to now forcibly wean her off that. Is there something within you? Is there a reason why what motivates you to continue on this path? What are you scared of happening, or what drives it, do you think?
I tried everything. It's not to say she doesn't have, she rather have pro-neutral or a little bit with pigs. It's not even 2 spoons, but I try to go out, and when I come back, she hardly ate. I keep her and I hate to make her starve.
I know, it almost feels...
She just come back for the milk.
So your fear that if you don't offer her the breast milk, she's not going to eat. That's your biggest fear at the moment.
Of wheat picks or a tiny bit of fruit.
But it's a cycle that she's got into now. So she knows that she'll only have 2 teaspoons of Pronutro because mom is going to be there later to give breast milk. So it's with support though, I think that's really important, is that she needs the support. You need someone that you can have support you, and you need to, for a few days, be so strict and consistent about not offering the breast milk and only offering food. And
we put her in 2 preschools, and they send her right back because she refused to eat. But what I'll do, I'll be now a cruel mummy and just stay away for about...
Joanne, I'm going to say straight off the bat that you knocked that concept and thought right out of your head. You are not alone in this. A lot of parents, of mothers are going through this. This is a part of a natural process that has to happen. So please, divorce yourself from that description completely. This is something, I know it's challenging and we're kind of oversimplifying it, but please let us know.
Haven't ever been sick. Never ever been sick.
Yeah, that is so there's benefits. Obviously the breast milk's got that immunity, but it just doesn't have the sufficient nutrition anymore.
For the long term, you
as an
need
exclusive diet, and that's tending to be what she's doing. So if it was just a little bit here and there, but she was still eating really well, then it's a personal choice. But at the moment, it's at the cost of her health and her nutrition long term, not just immediately. But Joanne, you really need support. That's critical. She can't do this on her own. It's very important.
Joanne, thank you so much for sharing with us. I know a lot of parents can relate, and a lot of mothers especially.
Absolutely.
But by no means any mother, parent out there going through this process, having to go through those difficult gateways. You are not hurting your child
not at all, no.
By weaning them onto solids. You are helping them develop into the young bodies that they need to be able to look after themselves. Awesome chat, Kath. Thank you so much. Hopefully you've picked up a few tips there along the way.